Hello everybody, my name is Aaron AaronPullin'Teeth and welcome back to the WWF Smackdown 2 Know Your Role Season mode. And if you missed the last episode, something very, very special happened. We finally got a world title match. The world title was on the line. We, as the Undertaker, won the world championship and now we're in a clusterfuck main event. We are finally world champion. Dwayne's reign of nothingness has finally ended. Rock the Dwayne Johnson defended his championship and realised why he didn't defend it for so long. Because if he did, he'd lose it. Straight away. Al Snow did nothing. So, I'll have a match tonight against the man of ass himself, Rikishi. We actually have something going on. Oh no. Jericho, don't do it. Don't do it, Jericho. It's not worth it. Don't go and speak to the guy. No. No, don't do it. Chris. No. They just can't resist. They just can't resist. Chris, no. You were so young. God damn it. Well, that means we're probably not facing Rikishi. We're probably facing some mystery. Actually, we might be facing Rikishi as well. We might be double booked. One of us is going to be double booked, either Al or Taker. Big Vis and Pete Gas. There's a lot of mass in that match. Not a lot of moves, but a lot of mass. I think there's about 5 moves between them. 4 of those are Visceras. Pete Gas has the gas mask and that's about it. Okay, what's happening with old Christopher? Oh. Who the hell are you? We just let some random indie dude in tracksuit bottoms and a vest and a bandana. He looks like he's walked out of CCW. He looks like generic CCW mid-carder. Generic CCW mid-carder number 14 is here tonight. Anybody else get that vibe? Bandana pulled down to just below his eyes. Vest, tracksuit bottoms that are slightly too small because they come up to just above the ankle. Trainers. He was definitely CCW mid-carder number 14. I don't know if I said 14 last time, I'm just saying random numbers. But you get my point. He exists. He doesn't have a name. He's probably done like 12 pile drivers through concrete in his career. He's almost definitely tried to do a Spanish fly and fucked it up. It's not even like top level CCW guys where they definitely have like an actual personality going. So no, I'm being stretched by the ass man himself. Shockingly not Mr. Ass. I'm saying all this, and I actually like CCW. I like that hardcore extreme style, or some people call it garbage style. I like it. I am actually a fan. But there is no denying that some of the guys, especially on like earlier shows, they didn't really have a lot going for them. But you can say that about any wrestling company. Oh god, he's going to drop the ass on me. You can say that about any wrestling company, really. You look at most wrestling companies, and a lot of the time their mid-card is lacking, shall we say. The mid-card or the lower card. gets kind of rough. I mean, look at like mid-era TNA. Not even talking early era TNA, we're talking mid-era TNA. Like, some of their mid-card was forgettable. Though I feel like the best example is probably WCW. WCW's lower to mid-card was, shall we say, weak a lot of the time. They had a few big standouts, obviously the Cruiserweight division. Not even all of that was solid. A good chunk of the Cruiserweight division was good. A lot of the stuff with guys who were, excuse me, bordering on the main event, probably should have been main event. You know, guys like Raven and his flock. Guys like Jericho, Guerrero. Although Guerrero and Jericho walked in the Cruiserweight division a lot. Alex Wright, to an extent, as well, was pretty decent from time to time. They definitely could have done more with him. Drop you on your neck. Oh, we're done. And just like that, the ass has fallen. Not that way. But WWE has been a massive victim of that as well, a lot. I mean, you look at the era, specifically when they were the worst for it, has got to be, like, just past the pandemic. Probably like 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021 they got a cut back, and then 2022 again they sort of started doing it, where they just hired everybody when they had absolutely no idea what the hell to do with them. So the WWE roster was absolutely massive, and only about, I don't know, 20 people actually got booked. Everyone else kind of just did nothing. And it was even when they had like really talented people on their roster that they were just doing nothing with. Like, they had TJP on their roster for a good while. And while he does have a reputation of being a bit of a cocky prick, he's incredibly talented. You could have done a hell of a lot with him, but they just didn't have a clue. Anyway, Chris Jericho's been attacked. He's not going to be able to compete tonight. He twisted his knee pretty bad. Okay, so what's happening now? Who's replacing Christopher? Is it me or is it Taker? I am Taker as well, but currently it's Shane, and it's changed from a TLC to an Iron Man match. One annoying thing in wrestling as well is when they give somebody a push, like a little bit of a push, not like a full-blown one, but a little bit of one. And then just out of nowhere they just say, screw that, and then just stop. Sometimes even when it's working. I saw Steve Blackman, and that was what made me think of it. It was like they did some good stuff with Steve Blackman, and then they just kind of just stopped. Especially in this period, it's like if somebody got injured, their push just came like to a complete standstill, and then a lot of the time they didn't do anything when they came back unless they were already a top guy. And even then, it wasn't a guarantee. Like when Taker went away for a while, and when he came back as Biker Taker, it took a little bit of time for him to re-establish him back into the main event. He walked back in the main event scene, but then he kind of fizzled a bit. Anyway, I've noticed that these Smackdown 2 videos have turned into a lot of me just rambling. They've just turned into me just rambling on for a while while we play this in the background. But anyway. Al Snow, double booked. Never happened. Okay, unknown A. Unknown A. I'm choking on nothing. Get my water. Okay. Wet the whistle, as they say. Which sounds rude. Anyway. It was a casket match, wasn't it? They kind of like casket matches for these unknowns. We're literally buried. Dude is like 7 foot tall. Generic CCW wrestler number 14 is huge. He's even got the mutton chops. I suppose at this point he wouldn't be CCW. At this point he'd probably be ECW. But even with ECW, Paul Heyman usually only hired guys that he actually knew what to do with. Usually. Come on, big guy. Super kick him. Yeah, hit him in the face. Repeatedly. With a giant coffin. God. I don't know how I was swinging that thing. Moon flipping. Ow. Ow. Okay, it nearly landed in the crowd. God, with how tall you are, if I do that, I hit you in the groin. No, you don't. Whoa. The power of the super kick. Oh god, he just Rikishi bumped off a chop. Cookie the Crunch. Oh no, wait, that's the franchiser instead. Yeah, sorry. Now Cookie the Crunch. Oh no, it's DDT. I will remember what my moves are. Cookie the Crunch. Give me this. Kinda sold it. God, you can get some distance with that thing. Oh my god, he fell in on his own accord. Oh god. Get me out, get me out, get me out. What? Okay, don't get in. That clothesline kind of turned into a punch to the face. Speaking of punches to the face. Hey, you're meant to go in there. Not bounce off it like it's a wall. So get in. Get in. Why won't you get in? There we go. Finally! You could tell it was going to be him that lost this one because the casket was huge. And the guy was like 7 foot tall. So yeah, Al Snow making up for not being on the pay-per-view by getting 2 matches on Raw. Burying the local talent in one of them. I didn't actually look for whose stuff that I'd have unlocked with Unknown A. Al Snow very happy with his victory. Smack down to unknown list. Here we go. Apparently, that dude was Ric Flair. Ric Flair looks very different to how I remember him, but apparently that was Ric Flair. Fewer chops than I remember. Okay, time for the world champ to set up. To set up and step up. You just keep repeatedly mashing the start button. Because Taker's entrance is a little busted. Only a little bit. Only the sense of the entrance video kind of screws everybody over. Just hammering start over and over. Yeah, start. That's the button I'm hammering over and over. And it's Dean Malenko. I was recently rewatching New Legacy Inc.'s DDP season mode on Smackdown Shut Your Mouth. And I forgot they did a whole skit about WCW foods. Which include things like the Dean Malenko, the Lance Stromboli, and stuff like the crisp and waffles. Jokes on to Triple H. The Hollywood Hulk Hoagie. God damn it, Triple H. Let me do my moves. Let me do moves. I'm the only one here who didn't get the dress code, apparently, of wearing black and grey. Which is weird, considering I'm the Undertaker. You'd expect I'd be the first one wearing that. Dropped Austin on his stack of dimes he calls a neck. Excuse me, I'm just doing flips. Vince, what the hell? Repeatedly headbutting his son-in-law. I'm still dropping Austin on his neck. Who cares about workplace safety? Get chokeslam, boy. It's Battle Royal, isn't it? So it's elimination. Nope. DD. Me falling on my face. Okay, Austin's got to whisper sweet nothings in Vince's ear. We'll let the power trip fight. Hi, Vinny. Oh, was that a stunner? That was a stunner, but it wasn't finisher stunner. It was just normal grapple stunner. Because in every game, Austin has to have that. He has to have at least one normal stunner. Oh god. Hey Vince, I'm gonna drop you on your ass. Get chokeslammed. Triple H and Austin beat the snot out of each other over there. Steve. Somehow hit Triple H, but I'll take it. That shoulder tackle works great when there's multiple opponents. Drop him on his noggin. Yeah, screw it. Last ride. Steve, why? No, not again. So one thing that's annoying about these battle royals, the CPU doesn't seem to understand that you don't need to break up every pin. As a matter of fact, it's worse if you do. Drop him on on that stack of dimes. Or down. Get punched in the face by Triple H. And dive. It's fine, I made it work. Drop you on that stack of dimes. Though your neck's never really your issue. Hence you no-sold it. It's your thighs that are your issue. Your quads. Just casual diving knee drop. How am I nearly on finisher 2? When Austin's only just hit finisher 1 and nobody else has hit one yet. Joke's on Vince. Ow. Really, Steve? And that's the time when nobody's there to break it up. Boing. Well, I hit 2 of them. The one person I was actually locked onto is the only one I didn't hit. Choke the game. Vince is the only one without a finisher. Okay, it's last round Triple H. Oh, Trips is gone. Oh my god, and Austin's gone on a roll-up from Vince. And Vince is back on it with the roll-ups. Vince is very close to a finish. This might not be a good thing. Or I could just repeatedly punch him in the face. DDT. I forget how somehow OP Vince is in this game. Even though he really shouldn't be. He does way better than he should do in every circumstance. So just keep up the pressure. Don't let him get to that finish. Beat him down. Oh. There we go. And now we're done here. Upsy daisy. And down. Can't believe it took 2 last rides to beat Vince, but only 1 to beat Triple H. And Austin lost to a goddamn roll-up. It's like, who booked this shit? Oh yeah, the guy that was in the match that came second. Well, that Raw lasted quite a while. Shockingly quite a while. Ooh. Test with his weird zip. Congratulations! We unlocked something. Unlocked this guy. Oh yeah, the Ric Flair strut. Oh, that's more like a Jeff Jarrett strut. It's the mouth. The her mouth constantly. He doesn't have the eyes to match the her. It's like blank eyes with angry mouth. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm going to leave it alone. And we're going to move straight on to Smackdown. Despite the fact that we're like 25 minutes into this video. We have to do 2. It's how it works. We're both booked again. Jacqueline and Lita. 2 people who could actually work in this division at this time. Wonder if they were actually allowed to. Pete Gas and Viscera, the rematch that nobody asked for. Twice in a lifetime. That would be a feud that, screams velocity. Not even heat, it screams velocity. It's not even the good B show. Actually, it probably doesn't even scream velocity, it probably screams jacked. Who remembers jacked? It's so rarely aired in the UK, which I was surprised about, as I would have thought that would be like all we'd get. But shockingly, it was actually easier to get like Raw and SmackDown. Well, SmackDown specifically. It was difficult to get Raw. We got Raw highlights a lot. Unless you had like the Sky Sports channels, where you could get it all. But if you just had normal, like, terrestrial Sky TV, or the bog standard Sky TV without sports and things, you could watch SmackDown on a Saturday morning, because it would replay SmackDown, just the edited version for daytime TV. But it was all of SmackDown. And you could watch Bottom Line, which essentially was just a highlight show, which showed you Raw. And that's what I had for the longest time. So SmackDown was very much my show. It wasn't until years later where we got the sports package where I could actually watch all of it. And even then it was on at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, being a wrestling fan growing up in the UK was hard, man. It was difficult. Not to mention, like, when it was late Attitude Era, when I first started watching as a kid, you couldn't get WCW at all. I never saw any at WCW. I remember being a kid, and this was a few years later, this probably would have been about 2003, 2004. I was flicking through on sports channel stuff and found this really obscure channel which played a lot of just random wrestling stuff. It wasn't WWE stuff, it was others. So you'd get like some Japan stuff, you'd get some indies like Ring of Honor stuff, and you'd get TNA on there, like early days TNA. Speaking of TNA, hi Albert. So I remember seeing that and seeing Raven fighting. God, who was he facing the first time I saw that? Might have been Raven versus. Might have been Raven Sandman in TNA early on. I can't remember. I'm going back a long time here, and I was very young. I was maybe only 10 or 11. I remember seeing it and I was like, oh, this channel's so cool. Watching all the stuff that isn't WWE. Opened my eyes. It was a really obscure channel. I cannot remember what it was called. It was buried somewhere deep in the sports channels on Sky. And I remember just one day flicking through and it just wasn't there anymore. It was a couple of years later. It was probably like 2006, 2007 when I was flicking through and that channel just wasn't there. But I think by that point, TNA had actually got a bit of a better deal in the UK, so they were being shown on, I believe it was Bravo? Bravo or Challenge? I remember it being shown on Sky. Where you occasionally get to see TNA. And that deal ran right through like the Hogan era. It might have run past the Hogan era, actually. It might have run right up until it was Impact. Maybe even longer than that. The PS1 motion for mouth movements. Revolutionary at the time. You look back now and it's comical as hell. And me just reminiscing about being a kid and experiencing other wrestling things. It was the easiest company to access was the WWE. Or WWF when I first started. I remember the whole Get the F Out campaign. Obviously being too young at the time to understand why they were doing that. But also not really caring enough to ask the question. It was like, oh, okay. New name. Sweet. I remember when it first started, I thought, oh, are they doing another show? Like, is WWE another show to WWF? And it was like, no, it's just the company's changed its name. It was like the disappointment then of being like, oh, okay. I know it's probably meant to look like a heel, but have you noticed how the D and Deborah there kind of looks like a H first? Like I said, it's probably meant to look like a high heel shoe, but it kind of just looks like a H. I just realised Kurt Angle was back. He's not seen him for a while. Triple H is pissed that we knocked him out in that last match. He said, no, you have to go one-on-one with the game. So I'm not going to get massively political here. I get political on other platforms, but one thing that I do find incredibly comical, because it is wrestling topical here, with we'll just go with the American current administration putting Triple H of all people like as a poster child or like in charge of like physical education, that sort of face of physical education stuff, when we all know that a lot of Triple H's physique came from steroids. let's be honest. At least for a good time period. A lot of that was not as much hard work as he'd make you believe. Don't get me wrong, there was definitely a lot of hard work there, and he definitely worked and grinded to be in good shape. But let's be real. There was a heavy reliance for a good time period, certainly at his peak, on enhancement substances, shall we say. He'll never admit it. He will never admit it. But, you know, we had eyes. We knew. So there is an irony there. Like, yeah, look at this guy who got absolutely jacked. Yeah, sweet. You're telling kids that if they want the perfect physique, the perfect body, get into steroids. Just find that amusing. Headlocks. Choke him out. Although from the look on his face there, it kind of looked like he was enjoying it. Hi, Kane. Damn it, Dad. Alright, I'm just going to stand back here and let Kane do his thing. Yeah, I'm just going to spam taunting in the corner while... Why'd you pick him up? Hi. DDT. Choke him out. Choke him out. Punch him in the back of the head. Donkey punch him. Okay, we'll go for a ride. Do you like the floor? Wee. One. Straight back in the ring. Nearly quicker than I was. But no, now your last ride. Knocked out again. Not doing too great there, Trips. Not feeling so fresh, huh? Well, that did it for this episode, everybody. So, thank you, everybody, so much for joining me in this one. It's been a genuine pleasure, as per usual. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill, all the fun stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.